All right, what up? So I'm here with my client O'Neill Luscombe. O'Neill, how you doing, man? Good to chat.
I'm good, brother. How are you, Nick?
I'm fantastic. It's a great day to be
It's a fucking great day.
alive. So yeah, O'Neill, I know we've been working together for the last 8 months. I just wanted to ask you about what it was like working together and the biggest benefits of working with me and how I made your life easier and helped your business.
Okay, first question, the biggest benefits. I would say the biggest benefits, yeah, we've been together for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Really just, reclaiming back my time to focus on bigger projects and creating content is a lot of mental capacity. I'm a pretty creative person, but even still, it's like hours of doing the research, the copywriting, the creative, and putting that all together. I'm probably saving or yeah, I'd assume maybe like 10 hours a week. And in that 10 hours, I'm able to, focus on bigger projects that only I can do. So the delegation was probably the biggest takeaway that I've had. If you're someone who's not really creative or you suck at making content, which is like 99% of people, you're also getting, highly effective content created for you. And then you can focus on your zone of genius. Maybe that's coaching or selling, whatever it is that you like. So that was the biggest benefit.
Mhm.
Nick, sure.
How specifically did my team and I make your life easier in terms of reclaiming your time back? Was it, the script writing? Was it the editing, the emails? What was the biggest step
Yeah.
for you?
I know you offer like different services, and I just chose the highest level service because I do believe, people should be walking the walk. You work with coaches, business coaches, fitness coaches, things like that. And, we're always preaching to other people to invest in yourself. So sure, I could have, went the cheap route and maybe spent, $500 or $1,000, whatever. But I said, give me the best package you have. Take this off my plate. Give me the best you can do. And that included a lot, like you were saying, the scripting, the editing, the posting. It was pretty much like a white glove done for you service, which I really enjoyed. I have had other social media marketers in the past, and yeah, it hasn't quite worked out the way that I wanted it to. And it's been a really good experience these last what, like 6, 8 months it's been, or 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Sorry, yeah, 8 months. Yeah,
It's been a while.
yeah.
What do you think my team's greatest strength is, or me personally as well?
Greatest strength. Well, you like to make me laugh, which is good.
I do my best.
Greatest strength is actually, I'll give you a really good one that is a bit unorthodox for a social media manager, is your strategy, the way that you think. You kind of plug yourself in almost as, I wouldn't say the CEO, because you're not like, bossing around and calling shots, but almost like a COO, where it's almost like I felt like you were like my right hand guy, almost like you cared about my business as if you were employed by the business. You were very encouraging on our Slack channel, very active, motivating, inspiring some of the team members when morale was down and sales were low. You were lifting them up. People don't really do that because that's not a role that you signed up for, nor did I ask you to. So for someone like yourself to step in as a leader and be my right hand guy, honestly, even almost above the content, which sounds crazy, that was actually one of the biggest takeaways. And I think that's more of a personality thing, Nick, than anything else. But yeah, that was really cool to see how you kind of stepped up when the team needed you to step up without being even asked.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Was there any specific lesson that you learned from me or my team that stuck with you?
Yeah, because I got this like ADHD brain, so like most, entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
and I tend to really, like to switch and change things up a little bit too rapidly. This is a discussion that we just had last week or the week before, and really, again, going back to what I said about the COO thing, is just helping me kind of pick a strategy and stick to it, and challenging me on things that you didn't agree with. That is a very important thing to do to people because you don't want to be surrounded by all yes men. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck where you are for the rest of your life, if not a very long time. So, yeah, just the challenging the way that I think, decisions that you didn't fully agree with or supporting the ones that you did. That was probably like the biggest takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were talking to somebody who wanted to work with my team and I, and they were kind of unsure of where to go, what would you tell them?
What do you think? What's their main objection?
They think I'm too handsome. No kidding. They just they want to know if what my team and I do is valuable enough to help their business out. I love it.
Well,
I love how you turn this into a mock sales call. Guy can't help but sell all the time.
well, the thing is, like, it just depends on like, because the question is like kind of depends on where that person's at, because it could be a financial thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, what you just said is like the value. They're questioning the value.
Mm.
And people always expect CEOs and entrepreneurs to sell themselves. And I've done that for a very long time. And when you start to sell yourself, you actually push the people away, and you actually just, mitigate the value or just kind of destroy it, any value that was already created. So, like, to turn that question back on the person who's like, should I get a social media manager or not? It's like, just keep doing what you're doing and track your data, understand that you're failing and you're not making any money, right? And sit in that pain for a little bit.
Mhm.
And then go and talk to Nick when you feel like, you know what, I'm tired of being a fucking idiot and being cheap and trying to make this thing work. It's been months, it's been years. I'm gonna make way more money if I hire a social media manager. I'm gonna have way more time back. So that's kind of like something that you have to figure out for yourself, is like when you're tired of failing and making excuses, you're gonna kind of realize that investing in people that are better than you and specialize in one thing and dedicate their whole life to one thing, marketing, which I think is the hardest thing in business besides team. Sales is pretty easy. Marketing is the hardest thing because it's always changing. Sales is too, but it's easier to keep up with it. And you got this person who's dedicated, 10, 12 hours, 14 hours a day learning about the skill of marketing, which very few people have mastered. So yeah, keep trying to figure it out on your own while you're balancing everything else, or go hire the person who's dedicated their life to doing that.
No, for sure. Well, I appreciate it, man. Is there any closing thought of things that you'd like to say about working with me and the experience that you haven't already said?
Yeah, just the biggest takeaway there is just like, having I can't speak for other social media managers, but I'll speak for Nick's team, is like having someone like Nick is gonna feel like you have like a strategist. It's gonna feel like you have a right-hand man. It's gonna feel like you're not taking on business on your own, where most entrepreneurs, even if they have a great team, which I do, and they have leaders in their team, which I do, sometimes you still feel alone. So to have another entrepreneur who's very like, focused on success, on the road to, building a seven-figure business, and will most likely be there very, very soon. I could feel it for Nick's team. That is the kind of like second brain that you want in order to be successful, which I didn't have. Otherwise, if I did, I would scale much faster. And the advice I'm giving you is from a seven-figure business owner myself, and you're not there yet, right? So you always want to take advice from people who are where you want to be. And that's my closing piece. Just, yeah, just kind of surrounding yourself with people who want to win and already are a step ahead in that direction.
All right. Well, thanks, O'Neill. I really appreciate it.
No problem, brother. Thank you so much for all that you've done for my company. I appreciate it.
Of course. Anytime.